past APCRSHR conferences, we've noticed that program practitioners or advocates or activists have been hesitant to submit their abstracts. This conference is not just a research conference. We want to invite and encourage submission of abstracts from the broadest ranges of experiences and disciplines possible. Although many of you who are researchers will be familiar with how to write a conference abstract, in this video we will provide some guidance to those who haven't written abstracts like this before on how to write an abstract for the APCRSHR conference. Let's start with the objectives. In this section, you would start by introducing the issue that you're trying to address, or provide a problem statement for your program, or state the research question that you're trying to ask. This is a short section, as you remember. This is only 100 words. So we want you to provide as much background as possible in the most to-the-point way as possible. If you are a program implementer, here you would talk about the explicit goals of the program in terms of how it would improve the lives of your target beneficiaries or the communities that you're working in. If you are an advocate, you would state some of your explicit policy goals that you're hoping to achieve. If you are a researcher, you would talk about your hypotheses here, or the intended outcomes that you hope to achieve from your research questions. Now we go on to the methods. In this section, you should describe what you did in order to address the issue that you identified in the objective section as your problem statement. If you're writing a research abstract, this is the section where you would talk about the data that you used, how they were collected. Did you do focus group discussions? Did you utilize secondary data or review documents? If you're a program implementer, you would talk about the different program activities that you organized. Did you set up services? Did you do trainings? If you're an advocate, you could talk about the different kinds of media campaigns you organized, the meetings that you held with government officials. All in all, in this section, you basically describe what you did in your program. In the results section, you should describe what was achieved and what were the outcomes of your work. If you're writing a research abstract, this is the section where you would describe the analysis and the results that you found. What did you observe, whether some of your hypotheses were confirmed. If you were a program implementer, you can write about some of the successes of your work and the challenges encountered, whether you reached your intended beneficiaries. If your work is in advocacy, you can describe a meaningful policy goal that was reached and what were some of the factors that helped you get there. In the conclusion section, you can tie up all aspects of your abstract to describe whether you were able to answer the questions you sought out to answer and whether you were able to achieve your desired outcomes. An important aspect of this section will be to describe the implications of your work for future programs and policies, and whether there were any lessons that you learned that can be applied to other contexts. In this section, you can also talk about the sustainability of your programs and your advocacy work. You also want to write about what more may need to be done in terms of research, in terms of your program implementation or your advocacy work to ensure better success in the future.